Good Wednesday evening, listeners, and welcome to another edition of Conversations of a Sister here on my YouTube channel. I thank you for tuning in tonight for tonight's conversation. And tonight's conversation is Project 2025. We're going to talk about Project 2025 because everybody is talking about it. Everybody is talking about Project 2025. When you turn on these different news stations at night, they are talking about the Republican plan for Project 2025. And I saw something a week ago that was posted on Instagram. It was by I think it was posted by one of my followers and someone that I follow, and it stated that a lot of people are concerned about the debate when they should be concerned about Project 2025. And I think that the reason why Project 2025 has gained so much momentum is because you have the right letting you know what the left is going to do if Donald Trump is reelected uh, to office. Now, don't get me wrong, this show is not about bashing one candidate over the other. However, I just want to highlight the truth of what is happening and what could be happening or what will happen with both candidates. Everyone's talking about how Biden should step down, how Biden should step down. And, you have Democrats saying how the Republicans is not calling for Trump to step down. He and Biden are both close in age. So Biden is what, 81 now? And Trump is 3 years shy of 80, which means that if he served 4 terms, he'll be going into his 80s toward the end of that particular term. So it's like when you want to talk about the mental capacity or fitness of one candidate, you cannot do that without addressing the capacity of the other. So it's like, let's be fair in this conversation. So while the Democrats might be focused on Project 2025 and its extreme, my issue with them is that they are not addressing the elephant in the room. And the reason why you have so many people that are hell bent on voting for Donald Trump, regardless of what his next term looks like, is because of what we're dealing with now. We have inflation, which is high prices, high interest rates. We have the war in Gaza. We have the war in Ukraine. We have immigration, immigrants piling and flooding into the states by the millions or the thousands. And you have a lot of American people that are just not happy with that. So these are things that the Dems are not addressing on their side. But they want to highlight how Project 2025 and Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Now, while I do not disagree with that, I think that that is not the only thing that is a threat to our democracy because we all are concerned about the future of America as Americans. How could you not be? So, for those of you who may be joining me and just tuning in tonight here on my YouTube channel, tonight's conversation is about Project 2025 because everyone is talking about Project 2025, and a lot of people don't know actually what it is. Project 2025 is a 180-day playbook that will be put into place for the next Republican politician. The fourth pillar of Project 2025 is a 180-day transition playbook, and it includes a comprehensive, concrete transition plan for each federal agency. When I talk about each federal agency, we're talking about the Department of Justice. We're talking about different departments within the federal government that the next president, if elected, plans to overturn or turn over. They will get rid of the DOJ. They will get rid of different agencies that support the American people as we know it. So that is I'm going to say a portion of Project 2025. Someone else posted on social media today that the plan in Project 2025 is also to have all public all public school children register to vote. They will register public children to vote. You know what? I had that wrong. Not register them to vote, register them for the military. So they will have all public schools registered children for the military, for active duty. So yeah, that's a red flag for many, because why would that be done? We already know about the ban on abortion, and you know, although it is said that Project 2025 will be supported by Trump, I have a follower, a young woman that I follow on social media, who is a part of his Heritage Foundation, and I called her out on it. I said, I understand that Trump, I didn't even say that. I posted, instead of being concerned about the debate, you should be more concerned about Project 2025. She responded and said, what is the concern? Because it is a 900-page document. And people think that because it's a 900-page document, that it's not possible to delve into it when you can. And when you read the beginning of a lot of it, how extreme it is, you can only imagine what the rest of it is going to state. But back to my good friend who's a part of the Heritage Foundation that is founded and backed by Donald Trump. She mentioned to Trump about Project 2025 and how, some people are concerned about it. And right away, Trump went to Truth Media and stated that Project 2025 is not a program that he endorses. He does not endorse Project 2025. So then you have the gentleman who's running Project 2025 give a speech, I think it was the next day, and he threatened us all by stating that the new administration, they are going to take over with great extreme. And he said the right can either accept it in peace, or it is going to be a bloodbath in this country. So he's basically telling you what they're going to do and how it's going to happen. But about Trump distancing himself from Project 2025, is anyone surprised? I mean, okay, so he tweeted that he does not endorse it, he's not a part of it, but then a gentleman who used to be a part of his organization, that is a part of the Heritage Foundation, the same foundation, this friend of mine who is on social media, she's very active, she's a part of his foundation. She came on and stated that Donald Trump does not support it. And then he came out and stated that he knows nothing about Project 2025. So then someone on Instagram saw that and they posted a picture of Donald Trump shaking the hands of the man who is in charge of, or president of, his Heritage Foundation. So that clearly tells you that Trump knows the person and is behind possibly this foundation. But let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Okay, let's look at Donald Trump's track record. So he said that he does not endorse Project 2025. He knows nothing about Project 2025. Didn't he say the same thing about Stormy Daniels? And then she was in the courtroom describing his private parts, right down to where the mole is and what type of underwear he wear. But yet he stated that he didn't know her. So, I mean, come on. She debunked that lie. It was a rumor until she actually debunked it and gave details in court. Donald Trump also stated that he did not know E. Jean Carroll, the woman that sued and won for millions of dollars due to a defamation of character lawsuit. He said he didn't know her. She showed up in court with her proof, and that debunked that lie. How many times, even when former President Donald Trump was in office and said one thing, and then videotape showed him saying another? Let's think about how all of the things that he said during the debate had to be fact checked by Channel 7 after the debate because he had told so many lies. They had to fact check to him. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of us know a lie who are in the news, who's reading the news, and who know the truth. We're going to know a lie when we hear it. But you have some individuals who actually believe everything Donald Trump says. That's the part that's scary because you think to yourself, do they really not know, or are they just willing to be ignorant in what they're complacent and want to believe? Because we all know that the election was won in 2020 fair and square because everything, all indications, all investigations, everything that Trump dug under proved that there was no foul play. But up until this day, you have a lot of Trump followers who believe that the election was stolen. Although Rudy Giuliani has been found guilty for harboring the lie, and every lawyer that harbored the lie has been found guilty, some of them sentenced because they harbored a lie. You still have some followers and some believers who still believe that the election was stolen because these are the lies that former President Donald Trump continues to spew, even at rallies. Some of the things that he says at rallies are so mean, it's almost as if he is giving a red flag for hatred. I don't care how honest you profess to be. When you have a platform and you are igniting people or you appeal to people, you should always maintain a sense of mannerism. And that should go with a sense of decorum. But when he stands at these rallies in front of people, it's like he has no sense of decorum. Some of the things that he says is so ignorant and so improper that it shocks me that he's actually the presidential front runner for the Republican Party. And we all know the Republican Party is very new. Gone are the Republican parties of uh, George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, uh, the one senator that passed away that was running against Obama, who corrected the crowd when they tried to, chant something about Barack Obama. Gone is that presidential party, that Republican Party that was fair, that cared about a people. Because now you have an individual that represents a party of hooligans. And I have to say hooligans because of some of the things that come out of his mouth. So, Project 2025 is basically going to dismantle the government and its policies as we know it because Donald Trump actually bragged about dismantling Roe versus Wade. And that is because he put a Supreme Court in place to support his policies. Think about it. If you don't think it's true, just think about it. And it took them forever to look at that case. And when I saw the delay, I knew it was being delayed because they were going to rule in his favor. So now the president now has immunity. That means that he's king. And he's king because he is above. Tuning in. Tonight's conversation is Project 2025. So let's think about it. So, Project Administration, and that is basically to dismantle the government. Because what is going to happen is Donald Trump is going to put more policies in place to protect him. And the problem that I have with the whole party is the fact that you have a man who formed a coup against the federal government. He formed a coup on January 6th where people stormed the Capitol and they were outraged based upon his speech. And yet, he is the Republican frontrunner for the Republican Party. And no one seems to have a problem with that. I feel like I'm living in a twilight zone because everybody is okay with the fact that we have a Republican frontrunner who tried to overturn the government. And not only did he try to overturn the government, he is also a convicted felon. And people are so proud of that that they are wearing t shirts that declare I'm voting for the convicted felon. And I'm convinced that at these rallies, he got to be passing around some Kool Aid. Some Kool Aid must be passed around because it's like no one sees the wrong in this. There is no right and there is no wrong. And if you're going to dismantle the Department of Justice, that means that no one would be held accountable for corruption. No one will be held accountable for their crimes because he's going to dismantle it. So that means that everyone can just run around lawless. After all, he's king because he has immunity. I think that that's a serious threat. And so is Project 2025. Project 2025 is quite deep. And don't get me wrong, you know, it's dressed up to look so perfect. It has this little white picket fence around it. It's like housed nicely in a binder. And it states how it plans to protect family, the traditional family. So that means that same sex marriages, dismantle. Same sex operations, dismantle. Because Project 2025 is about the traditional families. So everything that has been done according to the law will be overturned. The plan is to cut Social Security. The plan is also to dismantle all civil servant jobs. So, those of you who have civil servant jobs, they will be dismantled. He is going to completely overturn the government. And I know when people think about it, they think it's crazy. They think that, it is just too extreme. But I think that when you have people who are desperate in power, they will do anything to remain. I mean, look at President Joe Biden. Joe Biden should pass the torch. It is wrong to keep Biden in the election because Biden against Donald Trump is going to lose. I'm saying it here on my platform first. He's going to lose because Donald Trump stood on a debate stage with President Biden and told so many lies that it irked the people that Biden had no defense. When Biden should have said, "You're a convicted felon. You formed a coup against the government to try and overturn an election where I was elected. You continue to tell lies, and you've told a lie about this and a lie." Like he needs to lay it out, and he has not done that. So you have a new generation who's thinking about something new, and they think that Trump is something new. And the reason why they can relate to Donald Trump is because Americans are angry, and Donald Trump is talking anger. And because he is talking anger, that is why people feel like he represents the people because he's talking anger. That's what he's talking. And anger is dangerous. Being angry is dangerous. Revenge is dangerous. Bitterness is dangerous. And you know what's even more dangerous? Desperation. And Donald Trump is desperate. And he'll do anything he can to get back into power. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine the other day, and she said that when these men experience power, they don't want to let it go. This is why you have Biden, who don't want to step down, and you have Trump, who's trying to get back in because they've had a sense of power that they don't want to let go. And don't get me wrong, I think that Donald Trump is working hard to get back in because he's going to put extreme policies in place to protect him. He's going to protect himself from ever going to jail. He's going to protect himself forever from ever being held accountable. That is what he's going to do. So you have a convicted felon running for president. So you have all the convicted felons saying, well, if he can run for president, we should be able to vote. And if we should be able to vote, we should be able to do this. Why is he special? He's special because the Supreme Court handed him the torch. They gave him the key to America to do what the hell he wants to do because he's immune. He can go after his political opponents and not be held accountable. And trust and believe he will. He will go after the DOJ. He will go after the New York Attorney Generals. He will go after Stormy Daniels. He will go after Michael Cohen. These people will need protection. And will they be protected? Who knows? But trust and believe he's going to be radical and it's going to be extreme. Do you remember the last Trump presidency? The only reason why I was dying for him to go was because he loved the attention. He soaked up the attention. He was constantly tweeting, and the media, they just ate it up. And it's exhausting when you're dealing with someone with such a big narcissistic ego that is constantly wanting to stay in the news and was just like this big kid. It was exhausting. So, can you imagine what a second Trump presidency would be like? I have friends telling me they're going to move to Canada. But back to Project 2025, I need you to Google it. I need you to find it. I downloaded it. It's 900 pages. But don't be discouraged because that can be your summer read. That's your homework assignment before the November election because you have two candidates that literally suck. I have to be honest. I'm not happy about either one of them. I think that Biden should be replaced because he cannot stand up to Trump. And there is some things that need to be said and some things that the American people need to hear in order to know that you can withstand another 4 years in the White House. And I don't think that Biden have it. I just don't. I think that he should be replaced. I think that he should step down. And if he does not, the Dems are going to lose. And if he wants to save democracy, he would step down because this election is too serious to just give it away. And that's what he will do if he will remain in the race. I think Trump is just not qualified. He's not qualified because number one, he's a liar. Number two, he's a convicted felon. Number three, he formed a coup on the same government that he wants to serve. Maybe this is why he wants to overturn it. And number four, he has a following that's like a cult. These people are like a cult because no matter what you say, the handwriting is on the wall, but they don't see it. I listen to this comedian every morning, and he said something very wise. He said, "I believe that Trump is going to win because you have a lot of young people that are persuaded by him." And like I said, they're persuaded by the anger. There's a lot of things he says that Trump says that is very, very angry. So that's why you have a lot of young people that are saying Trump, Trump 24, Trump 2021. That's why you hear that because a lot of people are angry. A lot of people are mad. It's almost as if Humans no longer know what it's like to be human because everybody is angry. And this is why they're saying that it's going to be a revolution, and a revolution is not going to be televised. This is why that is being said. So, although Project 2025 is 900 pages, download it. I did. And that's my summer read. And it's very disturbing. And there are some things in it that are a bit extreme and shocking. But when we think about why some of you support Trump, I read something online the other day that I am now going to share because I think it's very true. And this is by a young lady that we follow each other on social media. And this is what she posted. You can support Trump all you want. She said, but remember, Trump didn't lower your taxes. Trump didn't do any infrastructure. Trump didn't get health care coverage. Trump didn't lower prescription prices. Trump didn't decrease the deficit. Trump didn't end the opioid crisis. Trump didn't revive the coal industry. Trump didn't make COVID disappear. In fact, he basically annihilated poor Dr. Fauci. Trump didn't build the wall or make Mexico pay for it. Trump didn't put America first. He never has. And he's not now. Trump is really putting himself first. But a lot of people can't see it. They don't see the handwriting that's on the wall. They don't see the train wreck that's about to happen because they think that Trump is wonderful. But Trump didn't build a wall or make Mexico pay for it. Trump didn't put America first, as I stated. Trump is not putting America first. And Trump, sure as hell, didn't drain the swamp. If anything, he rose up from it. So when people say that Trump fight for you, Trump is fighting for us, what they're saying is that Donald Trump, what they mean is that Donald Trump validates their hate. He validates their anger because he didn't do a damn thing for you but validate your hatred and validate your anger. And that's why you see the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene attacking her fellow congresswomen and the great Dr. Fauci. That is why you see her unleash like like she's at the gym or out on the street talking to regular individuals. This is why you see some Republicans hold no professional decorum. Because, see, you are led by the head. And if the head is leading by hatred, the body will follow. Be careful what you ask for. But I implore you, in fact, I challenge you to read Project 2025. It'll blow your mind. And I'm not saying read it all because you don't want to vote for Trump. I'm saying read it because you want to vote for humanity. And you need to look at that and decide what's humane and what is not. I thank you for tuning in. Project 2025. Read it. Have a good night. Bye.